Welcome to round 4 of the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of March 21st. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
And Nicole Eridix.
Hi there.
As moms of teens and young adults, we've survived those little kid days, yet we're still rethinking the decisions we've made all through our kids' lives and worrying about what's going on right now. Today's Thursday, which means it's time to give in to our obsessing. And today we're obsessing about what we hear when our family members talk. So we have kind of a public service announcement for adult children and spouses. You know, there are some things that maybe you shouldn't say to your wife or mother. Terry has an example.
For example, and my husband is a lovely man and he's very smart and he really has been told this before and yet still doesn't get it. So this is why I feel that perhaps repeated public service announcements need to be made just to get this message through. When your wife says, yeah, I think I'm going to have to go on Weight Watchers again. And you say, oh, yes, honey, that's a good idea. What you mean is, of course, honey, I'll support you in anything for your health. I think you're terrific. But what she hears is, yep, you're fat. Men, how can you not know this? I believe you have been told this many times. What your wife wants to hear is, oh, honey, I don't think you need to do that. If you feel for your own health that you want to, I will, of course, support you. But you look great to me, baby. That's what he wants to hear. She wants to hear, and then she will do what she does or does not want to do. Now, young people, if your mom gets up off the couch with many noises, oh, ooh, ow, oh, she does not need you to call her out for that. Why do you make so much noise when you get up? Those are old people noises. You will be making them one day yourself. Nobody needs to call them out. That's okay. Shut up. Do you find you guys, do you have things where your kids seem to not understand the correct response, even though you have perhaps told them 5,000 times? They still keep making the same mistake. Are we not? I feel like I've been fairly bold in my telling them that these things are not appropriate. And yet it seems so natural to them. What up with that?
No filter when it comes to commenting on mom and dad's behavior.
And I mean, everything I say is perfectly attuned to their needs and designed to give no offense. And do they follow my example? Yeah, probably. But if you guys noted this at your house, have people said things that just seemed so off tune and poorly calibrated to your particular delicate sensibilities?
Well, my favorite is we should. You know, we should go to the grocery store, or we should, get going on the taxes, or we should weed the front yard or whatever, because we should means you should.
Yes.
It never means like, let's go together,
right,
and do this annoying task that neither of us wants to do. It means, hey, this needs to be done and I don't want to do it, but we both live here, so maybe you could do it.
Actually, I think I may use that one, but it doesn't work, and so I wind up doing it anyway. But still, yeah. If it were aimed at me, I would be quite put out.
Yeah, I do not care for that one. That is for sure.
But
you get that one, Nicole?
I do get that one, but honestly, I think this is my husband, my family. My husband and my daughter just do not have filters at all.
Oh no.
So if I can't even, I just know better now. If I go to them and say, does this look okay? I'm not going to get the response I'm looking for, because it'll be like, well, you asked, you wanted to know.
But does it ever happen that they're like, yeah, it looks good, and then you know that they really mean, it's really true, because they wouldn't. Yeah,
sometimes it'll take me off guard, but I'll be like, why are you saying that? What's wrong? What's going on?
Do you have a fever?
Exactly. Are you sick?
Oh no.
I think that happened with my husband recently. He said something And I'm like, do you mean that? Do you really mean it? Yeah. So, and my daughter was just point blank honest. I mean, I won't even be asking or soliciting
right
for feedback, and she'll just tell me.
You learn.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's just brutally honest, that one. And then of course my son is just more like me. He'll be like, yeah, that's great. Just to get it over and done with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, in my house, it's very much like you get what you ask for kind of thing. Like there's no sugarcoating. If it truly is great, then it's like a rarity.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you can at least trust it if it's good.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to look at it, to be able to not be furious, but still doesn't feel good.
No.
Nor does like unlimited flattery, even when you feel you don't deserve it, because then it really does seem like, well, what do you want?
Mm-hmm. What's your angle?
Still, it's better than brutal honesty.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, it is amazing how, it's just a lesson that doesn't get absorbed.
That's right.
Right.
Unless they just think they're doing you a favor.
I guess so. Well, that's it, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess too, like my husband is a very literal person. So is my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't get inferences very well or suggestions or hints, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll just go out and, like the coffee machine at Christmas scenario. Like I needed a coffee machine apparently. And so that's what I got.
Yeah.
Did I want one? Was it like, something I dreamed of? No, something I needed.
What happens if you just say, you said they don't get inferences, but do they get like point blank, hey, don't say that? Or it's just like, this is me and this is how I am. So
they're very much like, yeah, just tell me what I need to do, or tell me what, they're very much like that. And then, which is interesting because then they don't get offended. They're like, oh no, I'm glad that you told me, or, oh no, I'd rather know, kind of thing, where I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't want to know.
Right.
Yeah. Please lie to me.
That also sort of puts, more of the obligation on you to be like, this is
right.
This is exactly what I need right now, which sometimes you don't know.
Just be nice to mom at all times is a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
Maybe listen to her podcast and tell her it was good.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I would welcome that never happens in my house. It's just a nuisance that makes me unavailable for periods of time.
Yeah, although I'm not sure I would want.
Yeah, that's true. We wouldn't be able to talk about them, would we? This is what we need you to do, children. Listen to the podcast, but turn the volume off so that we get the listen and we know that you care, but you don't hear all the things we say about you. Although, if we knew they were listening, then we could possibly give some helpful
hints. We could give some messaging that we wanted to.
One episode a week will just be, honey, here's what you should do. And you know what? We can exchange amongst us so that each of us is telling somebody else's kids what to do. So maybe they will listen.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter would listen to one of you guys much more than she would listen to me. I could give you a script. She's so annoyed when somebody else tells her the same thing I told her because, she wants to think that I'm nuts. So perhaps I push their buttons too sometimes. I wonder what they would have to say if we said to our children and spouses, what does your wife say that proves she is completely clueless as to how you operate? There would be a long list. For my daughter, I think my husband and son would be, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. I don't want to have anything to do with this. And my daughter would say, sit down. Do you have some time?
Let me fry you up some onion rings.
Exactly.
And we'll talk.
I mentioned that there's been an air fryer in our living room for several months that has not been used. You have to like pre-run it, right? To burn off all the chemicals from the shipping, they said. And it sounds like it's a chore. I mean, eventually it would be easy, right? See, my daughter would say, my mother obsesses about everything and does nothing. And she would not be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, we've provided a few warnings here. This could be a continuing series as events unfold, because probably they're not going to stop saying stuff like that. And we shall come share it with you here, listeners, so that you may say, oh, yes, I'm not the only one that happens to. Excellent. Meanwhile, tune in tomorrow when we'll share our roundup of things we've been using or enjoying lately that we think deserve a shout out. Find all our episodes at parentingroundabout.com and talk back in the comments there, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat.